Hi, Gary here. I think the best way to understand what's going on with millennials is interviewing them one by one and understanding just three things. And those three things are this: what are their concerns, what are their opportunities, and what are their strengths or capabilities to be able to make this all happen. And also to try to get the pulse of what's going on with millennials. Now, I was looking on a website called Reddit, and many of you know about this particular website. It's been around since 2005, and it's basically a social network. It's a news website. It's for entertainment, and there's since it started, there's 36 million users on it. There's content that's placed on there. There's questions that are going on there. There's up or down votes relative to these various questions and comments around communities that are organized by registered members. It's just a great place, and you know what? The majority of the members in this are millennials. They're in that age group of 18 to 35 years old. Next group is the 35 to 45, and then it really tails off after that. Well, what's some stats? Well, right now, 36 million users, 202 million posts recently in a month. It's a huge site. And there are what they call subreddits, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and one of them is called Personal Finance. So I want to go through just a couple items I found on it the other day. I was looking at it and said, hey, what's going on? What are millennials really interested in right now? And here they go. The first one was from a guy, 28 years old. Girlfriend moved out. She was helping with the rent. He had to go back, live with his parents, and he said, hey, who else is in this situation? Tell me what to do. He doesn't like it. He obviously wants to get back out on his own, doesn't want to live with his parents. And he's really looking at ways to do it. There's financial elements there, there's emotional elements there, there's social elements there, but there's just a lot of stuff. He got a lot of posts back to him, remarks, and were very helpful when I went through it. Second biggest one I saw out there when I looked at the site was a 19-year-old who's got $800 a month coming in from income, from working, wants to move out of his parents, say, how do I do this? Now, that's going to be a tough road for this young man because that's not a lot of money to go out on your own. But again, a lot of comments on how to do all of that. That's a common theme with millennials trying to move out of their parents and get on their own. Makes sense. The next one was an 18-year-old who had saved up $500 specifically for investment and wanted to know exactly what kind that investment he should get. And again, might be that maybe he shouldn't be doing an investment. Maybe that money should be set aside and the next $500 would be doing that. But it's hard to say. A lot of good comments on it. But again, trying to figure out that first step in investing, what to do. There's another older millennial up in the 30s, had $100,000 to invest, had saved it up over about 10 years, was thinking of 3 mutual funds, had many people come back, suggest different mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, combinations, different allocations. It was a really good set of discussion going on there about that. Again, another area financial advising where you're trying to figure out the allocation of your assets going forward, long-term, short-term, intermediate, whatever it happens to be. Then there was one where it said, what's my best way to dip my feet into the rental market? I want to buy rental real estate. Well, that's a huge area. You're talking about real estate. It's like a business unto itself. Lots of facets and moving parts. There's a lot to do there. The next one was on a newly minted attorney making $80,000 a year, has $170,000 of debt from student loans, ranging from 5.41% to 7.9%. Want to know what's the best way for me to pay this off over the next 10 years? How can I do that, live on my own, practice, etc.? So these were just a bunch of posts that we saw. What we want to do is provide you with real actionable ways to address stuff like this in a process, in a system, in the ways that you can consume this through live casts and webinars and podcasts, blog posts and books and other elements that allow you to consume this the way you want so you can figure out your own thing. And do this in a very effective, very low-cost manner. So stay tuned for our next blog post when we start to ramp this thing up.